Have to cut down on the alcohol in the coffee.
Telling me.
Are you ready, Carla?
Connected.
We're good?
Yep.
All righty then. Good morning, everyone. It's 9 a.m. Today's date is Monday, September 14th, 2020. We're here on the second floor to do our Commissioners Court meeting. The first item of business is our Pledge of Allegiance and our invocation led by Commissioner Scott. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for your abundant grace every day that you give us. Lord, we just praise you and thank you so much for everything you do for us each and every day. And Lord, just be with people that's had this COVID. And Lord, just be with them and their family and help them recover from it. And Lord, be with us this morning as we go over the agenda items. And give us the wisdom that we need to make the best choices that we're going to give you the glory. And Lord, we thank you again for everything you do for us. And we pray in your most precious name. Amen.
Amen. All right. Our next item is to approve the minutes of the regular meeting for August 24th of 2020, special meetings of August 21st, 2020, August 28th, 2020, and September 4th, 2020. Y'all have seen those minutes. Do I hear a motion that we approve those as written?
I make that motion, Judge.
Motion made by Commissioner Martinez. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Cornell. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right. Our next item is the auditor.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The first item I have is to approve and allow the county judge to sign the fiscal year 2021 TxDOT grant for routine airport maintenance. And this is what we refer to as our grant. Our grant is for $100,000 and we bill $100,000 and we get $50,000 back in, we get half of that, the $50,000. So once we submit $100,000, and that'll be for 2021. And it begins September 1st through August 31st.
All right. You heard Melinda on the request for the ramp grant, where it's we spend $100,000, we get $50,000 back from the state. Do I hear a motion that we approve this grant, also approve that I can sign the request? Motion made by Commissioner King. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Kelly. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right.
Thank you. My next item is to approve and allow the county judge to sign the first contract renewal agreement for the statewide automated victim notification services between APRIS Incorporated and Hale County from September 1st, 2020 through August 31st, 2021. And this is the VINE, the Victims Statewide Automated Victim Notification Service that goes through the District Attorney's Office. And it's routine, we have it every year, but this is the vendor portion. And in their contract from last year, and Jim has reviewed it, in their contract from last year, they can do 4 renewals, unless there's changes or anything like that by the Office of the Governor or us or the District Attorney's Office.
And you said that's the vendor's part?
Yes, this is to go into contract with the vendor, which is APRIS Incorporated.
That's the vendor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I bill we also have a contract which I've already approved with the Office of the Attorney General. And we actually bill the Governor's Office quarterly, and then they reimburse us. It's a reimbursement grant. So, we pay it, I send it in for reimbursement, and we receive the money back quarterly. And I believe, I don't know if it's on there, but I know in the other contract it's 18,000
There's.
something. I don't think it's in that
It's
one,
not in
but that's what we get.
And just for the record, I was trying to clarify the vendor's name, who the
Yes.
vendor was.
8% Incorporated.
Okay, thank you.
here. All right, you've heard Melinda, is there a motion that we enter, this agreement with, I guess the HG's office, to go through the vendor APRIS for our Vines program? Do I hear a motion that we, and allow me to sign, the agreement?
I make that motion, Judge.
Motion by Commissioner Martinez, do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Cornell. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Thank you. That's all I have.
All right. Next item on the agenda is the treasurer.
Okay, Judge and Commissioners, all I have is the deferred tax that we discussed on Friday. And last court, you approved for us to go ahead and do that. I guess where the employee could choose or not choose to participate. And I just want the court's approval and understanding in the changes that were not approved, the changes that were brought forth. And I know that you recall the county attorney explained that to y'all on Friday. And if you have any questions, since, over the weekend.
Any thoughts, new thoughts on that, or?
So my understanding was on that they would take the Congress or legislature to approve whatever the president signs. And then-
Actually, it's been approved. It was a memorandum from the president. And now, and it's been passed, but there's new regulations. And it has been stated, Jim, correct me if I'm wrong, that, Congress has to approve it to be forgiven.
Yeah.
And it's, it's not forgiven as of right now. But I want y'all to understand that, the liability, if the employee leaves, could be on the county. Now, I'll say this, in the memo that I'm sending to every employee, actually, I'm gonna try to do it before this payroll, if y'all approve it. If not, then I'm not gonna worry about it. But what I'll do is send this memo out, and they have to check off that they understand that if they leave, we'll take it completely. And that they understand that they might have to pay it back, and they have from January to April of next year to pay it out. It was basically I'll double down on the 6.2%. So I just need your yay or nay on that.
And what we agreed on last time, before we knew all the regulations, was we were gonna leave it up to the individual employee, to determine if they wanted to participate or not.
That's correct.
So after the new information, Jim, do you have anything to add?
I don't know that I have much else to add. It is a deal, the president, of course, the president somewhat controls the Treasury Department, so he's entered his executive order saying they're not gonna collect the FICA payments. But in order to completely forgive those, he doesn't have authority to do that. That's federal law that's controlled by the Congress. So, and as we said Friday, our understanding of the regulations that the Treasury Department came out with shortly after y'all's last meeting was that the employer ultimately is responsible for paying this money back to Washington. So it's not just a deal. I'd assume, like I said, that come tax time, it would just, you'd add $500 extra onto your income tax bill, and they'd get it out that way, but that's not the case. It's gonna have to come back before April 30th. I think is the deadline for us to remit that. And I think what I was got it set up to do is, if they left before the end of the year, then we would take it out of their last paycheck, whatever's been deferred. And then if they stay and are employed next year, then we would just deduct that extra 6.2% per check, correct?
Yes, sir.
So, or I guess maybe not that 6.2% technically, because if they get a raise, then it would
Then
be
it's-
actually less than that,
Yes.
but whatever is deferred, so.
Okay, what if we continue to take it out of the check along that time, and then if Congress does forgive it, then we give them the money, or how would that work?
I honestly, I played with the system like I told y'all Friday. I played on it last payroll. I have the option to go back and not accept it and return it back to whatever I had it at with mine and Monica's paycheck. And we're able to do it. I can't think of a way unless Encode does something where we could reimburse them back. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
As
you don't
far
have
as-
any way to put it in an account, and then just
No.
pay them later.
Not at this moment that I can think of, you know, but I can't tell you that. I don't know. It'd be something that Encode would have to do in payroll to allow me to do that.
It just feels like we're gonna get stuck with it if,
Right, I mean, we've got to make provisions to be able to get that money, because obviously, I don't think the county can really legally could just say, oh, well, this guy didn't pay it back, so we're making an extra payment on Joe Blow's behalf to the IRS, but, the thing about your suggestion, Jimmy, I think is that if an employee elects to defer that, I think that's their money, and I don't know that we could then keep it from them until some later time. I think the idea is that they would have it to
do whatever.
go do whatever in the economy and have it to, offset whatever hardship might have been caused by the pandemic, so.
Now, on the deferred, like if you choose not to take the deferment, and then or Treasury, whoever does forgive the deal, then you just lost out on the money, or do you get the money?
Yeah, that was the question Jimmy pretty much asked. but
Yeah, that's what I was
I
asking.
don't know, Judge. I don't know your.
Okay.
I think you would probably just, well, I don't know though, I mean, if they forgive it, then maybe you're entitled to a refund from the government.
Unless that's done during the income tax process, that could happen then.
Yeah, maybe it would show up then, so.
It's complicated, guys, but
Okay, so really what you're looking for is if we want to change what we did last time.
Just leave it up to the employees.
If we're gonna leave it up to the employees, then I guess nothing has changed. But we've got to understand that if an employee leaves and doesn't have the resources, then the county is obligated. Is that correct?
correct.
I think we need to see what to do.
Okay.
Normal payroll.
Oh, okay. You don't mean the decision we made. You're thinking just don't do the deferment.
I'm sorry, Harold, I can't hear you.
I said, we need to, don't do the deferment, we just need to leave it like it is, because I think that's gonna be a train wreck for us and some paperwork. And that's essentially taking somebody and doing them like King, some of us have done with our self-employment taxes. You gotta be pretty vigilant and diligent and all that about keeping it up. I don't know that we need to put them in that situation.
You gonna put that in the form of a motion?
Yeah, I'll put it in the motion.
All right, we have a motion from Commissioner King to change what we did last time and basically not offer the employee the opportunity to choose, that we would just say, we're not gonna participate in the deferment. That's our second.
I'll second.
Okay. Have a second by Commissioner Kelly. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right. Anything else, Adam?
No, sir, that's all I have.
Okay. Next item is the county clerk, approve a joint election agreement between Hill County and Plainview Independent School District and authorize me to sign it.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I've handed that to you.
Okay.
And Jim, was that okay? She said she had emailed that to you, and you were gonna look it over, and if there was any changes, you'd bring a new one, but I never heard back.
Excuse me. I asked the school's lawyers for a few changes, and I have not, they said, yes, we'll make those, but I haven't seen a new, version with those, so I don't know if they've sent another one.
Okay, because she's been out, but,
We might hold off on signing those particular ones, Judge, till I can look at them and see them. It was none of it was, anything really big. The first one they sent referred to Latrice as the elections administrator, and there's a difference in the law between the county clerk and an elections administrator, so we changed that, and there, I couldn't tell you right off what the other ones were, but there were just a few minor changes that I think we need to have in there, so.
okay.
Okay. So, I guess then what we're looking for is approval for me to sign a joint election agreement between Hill County and Plainview Independent School District with the understanding that if they agree to the changes that Jim has talked to them about and present that to me, then I'll sign it. Do I hear a motion that would allow me to do that?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Cornell. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner King. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? And the second item is the same thing, except it's a joint election resolution. Was there any changes to that one that needed to come, Jim, or?
Yes, sir, there was. I think, again, the election administrator, and that was probably about all on that one. I know on both of them, the contract, and maybe that one spoke about voting centers, which I think is a deal where you just have places to vote, and it's irrespective of your precinct. Of course, we don't do that in Hill County, so we changed that. And then one other thing on the joint election agreement was that we had agreed, it had originally in there that we would pay for their defense if they were sued based on something we did, which is no longer going to be in there, so.
Okay.
What was that? What did you say? Who's not, that's not, who's it cover?
This
Is
is
it been? Oh, just.
Okay, so do I hear a motion under, I would assume the same conditions on the resolution that once Jim or Latrice receives a modified version, then allow me to sign that? Do I hear a motion to approve that?
And if it's different, you bring it back to the court?
Yes, yes. Yeah, if there's enough difference that Jim feels like we need to bring it back to court, we certainly will.
And they did indicate they would make the requested changes. I just don't think I've gotten a revised document on either one.
Do I hear a motion to allow me to do that?
I'll make the motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Cornell. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All right, second by Commissioner Martinez. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, the next item is under my agenda items. We have received an HVAC maintenance agreement for the courthouse here, both from Johnson Control and from, I have to think of the other place. Anthony Mechanical. And so we got that proposal. Victor come and gave us a presentation on Friday. But that proposal, what I would ask is if we could table this item, give us all a chance to look at both of the agreements Also, so I can have Jim look at both of the agreements and make sure that we're comparing the similar items. And so, let's table that item, and I'll bring it back on the 28th. My second item, I received a call the other day from Richard Watson. He works for the Health Center Independent School District in the financial department. And he had requested that, out of the CARES money that we got, the $80,000 grant, was asking if the Health Center School District could receive 5 of that from us. You know, we have until December 31st to utilize the funding, but in order for them to benefit from TEA, they have to submit a request by October 1st. And so I didn't know y'all's feelings on that. There is a provision in that grant, Jim, correct me if I'm wrong, that the majority of that has to be spent for PPE equipment, but there is a provision that would allow us to let school districts pull from that funding.
Yes, you can give a portion of your, well, I guess you can give the whole thing if you wanted, but anyway, you can give that to local, I think schools, and maybe even municipalities. I'd have to, it's been a few weeks since I've looked at that, but you can divvy up the funding amongst other local governments within your jurisdiction.
Do they put a percentage that the school district can have, or is it by population, or how do they qualify to get that money?
I don't think there is, from what I recall, Mario. Again, I've slept since I looked at this, but you know, the main limitation on that grant is there is a 75% requirement has to be spent on. There's like 3 categories: PPE and like the shields and stuff like that, and things like I think overtime or extra wages you've had to pay because of the pandemic, things like that. And then the others are they're similar, but they're not quite as restrictive as far as what you can do. So probably like the grants, like the cities using their CARES money, they're giving grants to businesses and things like that. But and I think that'd be in the other 25%. So the main thing is that 75% has to be on those specific items. And I think if that, you know, looking at our total, I think whatever health center or anybody else that we gave it to spend on, we'd have to make sure that was 75, or, you know, that it matched up with the percentages, if that makes sense. So.
He told me that what they were looking at doing was their technical stuff for the kids as far as computer or internet access. And the reason he's wanting to get it by October 1st is TEA has a program. Now, the school has to qualify. He said not all schools qualify. You had to participate in this one particular program, and Health Center did. And he said if he can get it by October 1st, then TEA has told them that if they receive this money from a local entity, that they would match the money. And so he's asked us for $5,000 in hope of getting another $5,000 from TEA. And so, but he is the only independent school district that I've heard from about this. So I told him I would present it and see what y'all's pleasure is and what we need to do.
I think if we can help him, we need to help him. I mean, if he's the only one that asks, well, it's, I mean, doesn't keep the others from asking, but I think if they can use that money, we can have the authority to let them have it. We can let them have it.
Okay. All right, you put that in the form of
Yes,
a
sir, I
motion?
put it in form of motion.
All right. Have a motion to allow Health Center to receive $5,000 from the CARES Act money from the county. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Kelly. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. All those opposed? On Friday, I read the EMS reports for July and August of Petersburg. Do I hear a motion that we accept the EMS run and financial report for the month of July and August 2020? Motion made by Commissioner King. Do I hear a second? Second. Second by Commissioner Cornell. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. All those opposed? Okay.
Judge, I abstain from
Okay. Show Mario abstaining. Health
sorry.
Center EMS run and financial report for August 2020. They had 7 transfers, 18 EMS calls, 14 within the city, 4 outside the city, for a total of 25 total calls, 5 no transport, so they had 20 billable runs. Let's see here. Let's see here. Okay, they're total income for August 2020 was $25,543.51. Total expenses was $22,646.57 for a net of $2,896.94. Do I hear a motion to approve the Health Center EMS report for August 2020?
I'll make that one.
Motion made by Commissioner Kelly. Do I hear a second? Second by Commissioner King. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Judge, I'm sorry, on item C, I didn't get that motion is second. I didn't get it.
I made, for Petersburg, I made the motion.
Okay.
Jimmy seconded.
No,
Kenny seconded. I'm sorry.
I'll
Mario
And
abstained.
Mario abstained.
Mario abstained. You abstaining why, Mario?
What?
Yeah,
Just like always, our county attorney told me not, it'd be better for me to abstain those, anything in business for Petersburg.
Next item is our personnel matters from the district attorney. Wally?
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm here to ask for an adjustment that should have been made back in April to Brenda Johnson's, who is my misdemeanor prosecutor. Her hire date was October 14th of 19, and so her 6-month raise should have been April 14th of 2020. And if you recall, that was when we were kind of all doing Zoom from home, except for Ellie and I. Ellie was answering the phone, and I was there. I think all of Carla's people were there, but all of my guys were doing their stuff from home. And I just failed to notify Ida. I really didn't catch it. In fact, we didn't really catch it until last week. And Christina's the one that said, hey, what made her look at it is October's actually her year anniversary, which is another, under the personnel policy, another automatic 2.5. So what I was asking is if you could retroactively pay her that 2.5, and the dates on it would be from 4/14/20 to 8/28/20, which is what she would have had anyway.
Okay. All right. Any questions, Wally?
I do have a question. Wally, is it okay if we just do it all on her annual and just do a catch-up at that time?
Probably, whatever's easiest for y'all. I just didn't want her to get shortchanged because I didn't send in the notice.
I don't have a problem retro it, but it's a payroll week and Monica's out with,
And since we're coming up on October anyway.
yeah, and I would feel better if I had a little bit more time to calculate it.
Okay, and and then she would just get that in lump sum, and then it would
Yes,
be
sir,
adjusted.
and then we'll continue on.
That, whatever works for you, that
Okay.
was our bad to not send it over in April. But again, we were trying to kind of get everything geared up, because we basically shut down in March, and then we were trying to get all of our, figure out how to keep everybody doing what they needed to be doing from home. And quite frankly, Christina keeps up with a lot of that, and she was doing all of her stuff from home as well, so it's
Okay.
my fault, but
All right. So, do I hear a motion that we would, effective April 14th to 2020, raise Brenda to her pay group step 2? And I don't have the totals on that, but basically her 6-month raise from what she was hired at. So, and have that retro, and basically what I'm hearing is we'll catch that up in October, which would be her 1 year age. Did I hear a motion that we approve that?
Also moved.
Motion made by Commissioner King. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Martinez. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right.
thank you, I appreciate it. Maybe excuse.
Yes, sir. All right, our next item is our county attorney.
So the first thing I have is for y'all to consider the assignment of the June 12, 2018 tax abatement agreement from Hale Petersburg Wind LLC to Southwestern Public Service Company. We discussed a lot of this on Friday, but I'd be glad to answer any questions y'all might have. I will tell you, I did get an email this morning from their lawyer that the nameplate capacity of the wind farm is 478 megawatts, so times $2,000 is about nearly is $956,000. So, Merry Christmas.
Is that tax paid? We're gonna get
Say
with
that
interest,
again?
Jim?
956,000. 478 megawatts times $1,000 times 2.
Okay, that's way too many numbers. We'll do that later.
I guess I don't understand that. Then why is it times 2 years?
Because they should have paid it last
Okay,
October. They should have paid 478,000 last October.
and they didn't.
So this will be to catch them up, and like I said, then we'd be in year 2 of the abatement period.
Okay.
All right, any other questions of Jim? He, like I said, went over this Friday, and we'll sign this, and then I guess in January, we'll be in year 3 of the abatement.
Yes.
And so, this will basically catch us up on everything, on the abatement period plus the financial responsibility. So, do I hear a motion that we approve this agreement, and transfer that from Hale Petersburg Wind LLC to Southwestern Public Service, and allow me to sign that agreement?
I make that motion, Judge.
Motion made by Commissioner Martinez. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Cornell. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right. Item B, we went into a closed session on Friday and had a discussion with Jim about a vendor that is considering locating here in Plainview, and they had asked us for some special request on their sales tax. They will pay the property tax, but they had asked the county if we would consider some benefit to them involving the sales tax for, what was it, 5 years, Jim?
Yes, sir.
For a 5-year period of time. And the commissioners, I think, are favorable to that. There's nothing that's really been set in motion, nothing's concrete. Basically, what we're gonna agree on is just to tell the city that that would be something that we would be interested in, as those negotiations continue and move forward. And so, I don't think is there anything we need to vote on, or?
Judge, I guess if y'all vote to give me the authority to send that correspondence, it'll actually probably go to the business prospect
Okay.
instead of the city.
Okay, then, if I could hear a motion to allow Jim to convey, our views and our willingness to work with them, and let him contact the business prospect and pass that information on.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Kelly. Do I hear second? Second by Commissioner King. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right. And then item C is Jim's.
Judge, I guess the first thing to consider on this is all related to the block grant that the county is the payee, I guess, from the Texas Department of Agriculture on behalf of the Halfway Water Supply Corporation for some work on their wells. The first thing that y'all need to consider and take action on is whether to terminate the agreement between the county and Carthel Engineering Solutions for cause, and to authorize me to send the notification to Mr. Carthel regarding that decision.
Okay, you heard Jim and Jan and Danny and Dale talk on Friday about what's going on with this, these projects there in Halfway. So, do I hear a motion to terminate the agreement with Carthel Engineering Solutions and Chess Carthel and allow Jim to send the appropriate notifications to him?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Cornell. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Kelly. Any discussion on that? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right. The second part of that is to consider and decide which strategy to use for continuing under the block grant agreement with TDA as presented by Public Meeting.
We didn't really talk about this so much on Friday. I mean, we sort of just, I think, assumed, but there's several different ways you can approach this problem. And I think what the Water Supply Corporation, and I think based on our conversations with everybody, and I guess you can correct me if I'm speaking out of turn, but I think what the judge and I would recommend is that we hire another engineering firm to finish up what's left on the phase one, which is the new well, and get that permitted with TCEQ, and then to go forward, possibly go forward with the phase two, which is rehabbing the existing well. And so I don't know that y'all necessarily have to make a motion and decision on that. I think the next thing, if you vote to authorize public management to go out for, request for qualifications from engineers and then to go through the selection process, that kind of takes care of that. But obviously, if you wanted to do something different, we should make that decision, so.
Okay. Yeah, like Jim said, basically, I think they have everything lined up in order to try to receive a new engineer. And their recommendation has been to us that for any future grants that we might apply for, that we're already going to be penalized because we've had an extension. And there's really nothing we can do about that. It was nothing on anyone's part that the county has anything to do with. But that if we don't follow through on this project and try to finish it, that they feel that will also come back and reflect poorly on the county if we have future projects with them. And so, I hear a motion that we allow public management to go through the process of selecting a new engineer, have the necessary requirements done to have the permit issued for the new well that was completed, and allow that person also to help them progress through the rehab of the second well.
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Motion made by Commissioner Martinez. Do I hear a second? Second. Second by Commissioner Kelly. Any other discussion?
Judge, I might ask y'all to add to your motion, I don't know if this is completely necessary, but if they would publish the ad seeking it to on September 18th, and then receive the proposals on October 2nd, and then plan to award the, I guess, contract on October 4th.
Okay. All right. Mario, would you
Add that to my motion.
add that to your motion? You're good with that?
Yes, sir.
All right. And who seconded it? Jenny? Okay. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right. Thank you, Jim. All right, next item on the agenda is the sheriff.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Pass it to the sheriff, please.
First thing this morning is personnel. It would be hiring Ricardo Martinez as a jailer, effective 8/24/2020, as an uncertified jailer. Group 13, Step 1, hourly rate of $12.85. And also Michael Luna, also 8/24/2020, uncertified jailer, 13/1, hourly rate of $12.85. And that's the two.
Okay, you've heard the request to hire, both effective August 24th, both of them at a 13/1, and that's a hourly wage of $12.85 per hour. The first, is Michael Luna. The second, Ricardo Martinez. Do I hear a motion that we approve these hires at that beginning date and pay rate?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Cornell. Do I hear a second? Second by Commissioner King. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? All right.
My next item is the renewal of Leads Online. It's an investigative program that we use, that the CID uses. It's $2,578, and we would pay it out of the investigation line item. And this is the deal, we're hooked up all over the United States through pawn shops and things like that.
Okay. You heard the request to, a renewal on the agreement that the sheriff's office has with Leads Online, annual renewal payment of $2,578. Do I hear a motion that we approve this, and it will be paid out of the investigation line item of the sheriff's budget?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Kelly. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Excuse me, second by Commissioner Martinez. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right. The next item, oh, go ahead.
My last item is the new generator that's been sitting in Lubbock forever. beginning to get it done due to COVID and everything. We had to extend the pad from the old one to get a bigger footprint for the new one to sit on. We had Concrete Connection come out. Their bid was $2,175 to do it and get it ready to have that new generator set in place.
Okay, have a request to, from the sheriff's office to have a new concrete pad for the generator that they purchased from Concrete Connection in the amount of $2,175. I hear a motion that we approve that.
Make that motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Cornell. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Kelly. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Thank y'all very much.
All right, thank you, David. All right, the next item we have is Commissioner of Precinct 1.
I'm here today to request that a new line item be made for a solid waste plan. And I'm gonna move it from in my budget into the line item. And the line item numbers will be 0216114444. With that form of a motion.
All right, have a request to create a new line item within Precinct 1's budget under the title of solid waste.
Yes.
And the number for that line item would be 0216114444.
Oh, and the dollar amount I'm transferring now is $1,200.
1,200?
Yes.
Okay. And you put that in the form of a motion?
Yes.
All right. So you've heard the motion, of the solid waste line item, the number, and the amount of $1,200 in the form of a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Kelly. Any discussion?
How long will this be for?
Right now, I'm gonna do it from now till the end of December, just kind of see how it goes, because this will be just for, this part of it will be just for household waste. We'll see, you know, if it all works like I think it's going to.
And this is for the containers?
Yeah, just for the 3-yard dumpsters.
How much are they charging for each one of those?
They're charging $300 a month for 11,000 over. They're $60 a dumpster times 5, which is $300 per month.
Okay. Any other discussion?
It's gonna come on that land over there. Yeah, I'm gonna put it on, they're gonna be on North Day, that property that we got with tax. Probably don't know if they do, where I keep my pile of dirt. Yeah. Forever know.
We had discussed some of this before, but who was gonna monitor those, Harold? Is somebody from out there, or Diane, or somebody gonna help with
She
that?
said she would help. If it goes, I mean, I'm telling people they're gonna have to eventually put a fence around it or something, but right now we're just gonna go with what we got.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna do that too. It's all part of the whole.
All right. Any other discussion? All right. If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right. Our next item is from Precinct number 2.
Yes, sir. Judge, I want to ask the Commissioners' support to approve a hire for Precinct 2, a heavy equipment operator by the name of Christopher Trevino, effective today, September 14th. Being Group 13, Step 1, hourly rate $13.73 per hour, 1098.26 bi-weekly.
Okay. You've heard the request to hire a heavy equipment operator at a pay group 13-1, which is $13.73 per hour. The effective date is today's date, and the name is Christopher Trevino. And you put that in the form of a motion, so do I hear a second?
I'll say.
Second by Commissioner Kelly. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Is that Christopher with you this morning?
No.
No, okay.
They don't care ever.
Okay. Next item is from Commissioner Precinct 4.
I have a similar request to hire an equipment operator. Name is Kobe Miller, and it would be effective for August the 24th of 20. Pay group 13-1 and also an hourly rate of $13.73.
Okay, you have a request, or you've heard the request from Jimmy, the hiring of Kobe Miller, effective date August 24th at a 13-1, which is $13.73 per hour. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Martinez. Any discussion? If
I just
not,
want to make a comment, Judge. If you, the commissioners would just send him, I'll call y'all when to send him. I've got personnel stuff, so I'll be doing payroll this time, so it's gonna take me twice as long. I hadn't done it in a couple of years. So anyway, if y'all will accommodate me there, it'd be better if I call y'all when I'm ready to take them in. The new hires, if they have not been in
No, they've
yet.
already been in and done
Okay, that's yours, Mario?
He's coming this morning.
Okay, so I can't take him this morning, so if you'll, I'll call you when I'm ready.
Would it be this week, you think?
Yeah, probably the end of the week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's talking about it today.
Okay.
all right. Did we vote on that? No. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? If there's nothing else, that concludes our agenda for today. We'll stand adjourned.